If I got a nickel for every time I made a Moist Critical Drama is Insane video, I'd have 2 nickels. But to be fair, they're probably 2 shiny nickels. Because this second drama especially has been pretty crazy. And I mean, just as a teaser, Moist Critical has actually decided to take an indefinite hiatus from the official podcast and Red Thread after this debate drama. Now you may be asking, Krakoon, Oliver, stop teasing me, stop edging me right now. I just want to know what the drama is. But before we get into that, bro, just quick, please subscribe, man. It helps me out so much. I appreciate it so much. Genuinely, bro. Thank you for just helping a boy out. Back to the video. So to clarify for everybody that doesn't know, and yes, I have to censor his name because YouTube absolutely hates this guy, had a debate, a public debate, that was, I want to say, leaked on Twitter. It was all over Twitter for a day. And this debate was basically about transgenderism. A very touchy topic. And it was about kids. And I'll just show it to you right now.
I'm talking about your personal beliefs. Do you think someone in their 20s should be able to marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
To someone in their 20s should be, I mean, I personally wouldn't do it. I don't know many people who would do it. The maturity for people and the teenagers in the West is getting much worse, but there are...
We're talking globally. Let's just talk globally. Like, do you think it is okay for, and I'm not talking about just you specifically anymore, anyone, do you think it's okay for anyone in their 20s, an adult, to marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
A 21-year-old, if there was a marriage where the father consented and the daughter consented, and it was both good on both families and they wanted to do it, why am I going to get involved? Why should we get the government involved?
Well,
why would I tell them if everybody's consenting, if everybody's okay with it, if the parents are okay with it, if nobody's being harmed, if it's going to be okay, if they're both abiding by the rules and they're not hurting each other, why not?
But they're still, like, they're at best a sophomore in high school. They can't consent to something like that. Like, do you...
Okay, in my personal opinion, I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off, not trying to fence it. I genuinely believe both of these takes are horrible. They both suck. The main issue I have with these takes is that a child cannot consent. Anybody under, I'd say, 18, which was a relevant topic, cannot consent to either marriage, or transgender surgery. Just because I don't think anybody under 18 has the ability to consent. In all views, I don't think a child, a minor, somebody under 18, should be able to consent to anything regarding, most importantly, sex. Again, both takes are horrible. Moist Critical says that with parents' consent, with the child's consent, which isn't a thing, they can undergo transitioning, which is like changing a sport, which no, it isn't, because changing a sport is completely normal, fine, and doesn't really have any serious consequences, but undertaking a permanent sexual change is something a child cannot do, even with parents' consent and their consent, which isn't a real thing. Same with Sneeko. You cannot say a child should be allowed to marry an adult even if everybody is consenting, because a child cannot consent, a minor cannot consent. This just seems simple. A minor cannot consent, therefore both of these takes are wrong and bad. Neither of these takes are good. Neither of these things are okay to do, because they both rely on a child consenting to do something, which is something a child cannot do. A minor, a child, a kid cannot consent. But what about you, bro? Genuinely, what do you guys think? Put it in the comments, because I just think both of these takes are bad. Now, even after this, there was some controversy. For example, the night following his debate with Sneeko, Moist Critical, I don't want to say broke down, but he got really upset over this debate, which breaks his casual monotone feel which he usually has. So I'll show you that right now as well.
You can get therapy, you can go through the process of making that decision. I thought that's what it was. I thought he was just speaking in hyperbole with the dick cutting off shit. I thought that's what we were talking about. And then if you decide that's the path you want to take, it is your body, you can do that. You can make that decision once you become of age to make a decision like that. I just don't understand how it got so muddled. Half of the fucking conversation was hyperbole, and apparently that one was literal. Or it's a very malicious attack on what I'm trying to say or a misunderstanding. I don't know. But I think I'm just going to call it there. All right. Take it easy. Have a good night. See ya. You can get...
Going off the clip here, so I don't know how badly it is edited together, but I don't really get the point here. He says that he thought he was speaking in hyperbole in the idea of instantaneous surgery, which I guess is a good idea, but I don't know, at that point I believed it to be what Sneaker was saying. When I watched that clip of the debate, I just thought Sneaker was saying, do you think transgender surgery should be okay with kids? And I don't get the argument back, which is through therapy or something, which I'm guessing, keyword, that Critical is implying that they went through mental therapy, they went through examinations, and that they are fully consenting, and that they won't just instantly get permanent surgery, which is, yeah, a good point, but still you have to account for the whole argument. The I don't know what you mean argument is different, but again, I don't think you shouldn't be able to retract statements. I think it should be allowed if you change your mind or retract a statement to be allowed to do that. So after this, that is when Critical said, and I quote, "Hey everyone, effective immediately, Charlie has made the decision to leave both the official podcast and Red Thread. He wants to go back on an indefinite hiatus to scale back his time spent on the internet. We obviously wish him the best, for everybody to respect his decision and for all to know that the show will always be open for him to drop by and talk show should he wish to return. The official podcast, Red Thread, and Criminally Stupid are not going anywhere in light of this announcement." Following this statement, S-Man put out his own, saying, and I quote, "Moistcritkal put out a statement saying he's quitting the internet after our debate, period. Tab, for years everyone has seen cancel culture attack me, and I have never quit, period. My advice is to never take a break, comma, and never show weakness, period. Tab, keep your head up, comma, brother, period. Tab at Moistcritkal." The punctuation makes it funny, I'm sorry. At least for me. So yeah, S-Man was definitely proud of this one. But after this, I'm going to talk about online reception. How are other people reacting to this? So first of all, there have been two sides. The duality of man. There's been people saying nobody is on the side of S-Man, and some people saying crazy how there are so many people on the side of S-Man. The main two arguments that have been taken away is that Moist is pro-transitioning for kids, and S-Man is pro-marriage for kids. I want to say both of these sides are so incredibly biased. Sorry for repeating myself, but to reaffirm, both takes are bad. In my opinion, at least, children cannot consent, so they should not be able to transition, at least in my opinion, until they are no longer a minor, and they should not be able to do anything really sexual until they are no longer a minor. And I'm not going to try and hide it. Sneeko sus stuff, for example, associating with people like Zerka, who keep talking about smashing minors. And he has had a lot of controversial topics over differences in age of consent in different countries and stuff like that. But, as you'll gladly know, there are still sane people in the world. For example, Your Rage, who was responding saying that both takes are bad. That kids, and I quote, shouldn't literally be cutting their D's off. And that 14-year-olds should not be marrying to people. Both are permanent, sexual decisions made by minors who are unable to consent. I was gonna sit here and discuss why kids shouldn't be able to consent. It's literally the law. So yeah, I don't need to repeat myself anymore. Both takes are bad. People are recognizing this, even though there may appear like there's a very biased covering of this. Everybody is entitled to their opinions, so long as it doesn't break the laws of society. But I always do kind of hate shit when it's just covered wrong. But don't get me wrong, both takes are horrible. And strangest thing is, they literally follow the same idea of that children can consent. Which I'm saying again, I'm just saying it, the same stuff over and over again. I'm like the supreme yapper at this point. I know Sneeko didn't end Moistcritkal's career. I know Moistcritkal isn't the heavenly angel who was just mentioning about transitioning for kids, or talking about giving kids HRT, or using quote-unquote common sense, arguing with common sense, which is a tweet I'm literally looking at right now. And no, you can't defend Sneeko because he's literally talking about minors marrying adults. You cannot do that. Kids cannot consent to marriage, neither can they consent to transition. I personally think it is just a bad idea. That's why kids shouldn't be able to get tattoos. Tattoos are a permanent, mostly, body altercation undergone for the client's pleasure or satisfaction. A kid cannot get a tattoo. A minor is not allowed to get tattoos, so why should they be allowed to transition? When you're an adult, do anything you want. As long as it doesn't break the law, just do anything you want. In no way am I advocating for the locking down of other people's lives. That goes for both arguments. Both are bad takes. And I'm not gonna say Sneeko isn't controversial and quite suspicious with his takes of age of consent, which he thinks should be less than 18. Sneeko said on a podcast he thinks people from 16 to 17 should be able to get married. Don't know about that now, kinda seems the same from the debate, but I don't think that's okay. By law, it is not okay. But yeah, I just said the same thing again. I'm sneaking this in here, so if anybody who says you're a pedo and you're totally siding with Sneeko or anything like that, I'm just going to tell them to watch the video again. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is about it for the Moistcritkal drama. TLDR, both takes are bad, children can't consent. Oh, I said it. Well, for like the 100th time at this point. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Thanks for watching, but before I say the magic words, please, like, comment, and subscribe this shit. Provide your opinions in the comments. If I can change your opinion, or miscommunications, or misunderstandings, I'd be glad, man. As long as you're respectful and stuff, but you probably are. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you. Peace and good night, bro. Have a good one.